to doing something useful that's moved me in some very different ways. We know from rats, as I already told you, that atrazine induces prostate and mammary cancer. Other studies have shown that atrazine causes immune failure in rats, just like we've shown in frogs. Other studies have shown that when rats are exposed during pregnancy, the babies suffer neural damage. An EPA laboratory showed that atrazine causes abortion in rats. Another EPA laboratory showed that when the mothers are exposed, the sons are born with prostate disease. Another study showed that impaired mammary development occurs in the daughters of when mothers are exposed, also by EPA, and that's what that looks like. And then a recently published study showed that when those rats grow up and reproduce, their offspring have retarded growth and development. The company argues now that rats should not be used as a model for humans and the EPA should not consider these data. But they use the same rat models when they want to put something on the market. But it's not good enough to get them on. The important point here, to me, that's moved me, is that this bottom rat that you're looking at, it never saw atrazine. That bottom rat suffers from atrazine that its grandmother was exposed to. That rat has retarded growth and development because his mother was exposed in utero. When we look at atrazine and its half-life in the environment, Europe stopped using it 15 years ago or so, and the levels in the groundwater and aquifers have not changed. It will probably be around for at least 40 years. That means that this conversation is not about me and you. We've already been exposed. This conversation is not about our children. Our children will be exposed. Our grandchildren will likely be exposed. And according to these rat studies, our grandchildren's grandchildren will likely be affected by pesticides that we're applying today. And when I think about my little girl, who's just turned 15, that moves me in a very different way than I've been moved as a professional before. Especially when I read lines like this, words from our sponsor, Syngenta assumes no obligation to update forward-looking statements to reflect actual results. Some lawyer wrote that. And the EPA, even with regards to atrazine, says the ultimate decision is much bigger than science. It weighs in public opinion. That moves me, even though my advisor once told me, don't be an advocate. He said, let the science speak for itself. But the other side isn't letting the science speak for itself. So I have crossed the line, you might say. I maintain a website you can go to get information about atrazine. I don't always update it the way that I should. Keith Ellison, the U.S. Congress, has written a bill to ban atrazine. You can write to him directly from my website in support of that bill. A group of high school and college students have started a page on Facebook that you can follow, and there are various petitions that you can sign on that have tens of thousands of signatures. As a result of this action, you might imagine I've been called some nasty things by the industry. In one report, they called me an environmentalist, which I looked up because I figured it was an insult. And it said, any person who advocates or works to protect the air, water, animals, plants, and other natural sources from pollution and its effects. I wondered who? What person would not be an environmentalist? But what's more is, they've called me something even nastier. Hayes, they said, biologist turned activist. So I was sure that was the insult. I looked that up, and activist, it says, one that advocates and practices activism. But, well, that's not really informative. So I looked up activism. It's a doctrine or practice that emphasizes vigorous action. So, it still wasn't clear, so I looked up vigorous. That's possessing vigor, full of physical or mental strength or active force. I thought this is starting to sound pretty good. So I looked up active force. And active is characterized by action rather than by contemplation or speculation. I thought that sounded pretty good. And force is a strength or energy, especially of an exceptional degree. Active power. And I felt bad. Because I thought they were trying to insult me, and there they were, giving me a compliment.